So you're here because you want to know the difference between the Huawei Watch 3 and the Huawei Watch GT2 Pro. And I know a lot of you guys think the smart money is on the GT2 Pro, but hear me out. There are some upgrades, some significant upgrades that you need to know about before you make your ultimate decision. And I'm going to highlight all of those in this video. And if I miss any, let me know in the comments below. So the first obvious difference is of course going to be the price. At the time of this video, the Huawei Watch 3 is around £100 more than the GT2 Pro. But trust me, it's not for nothing. So let's start with the operating system. It's running Harmony OS, which doesn't mean much unless you have a Huawei device running Harmony OS. And check this out, if you have a Huawei device and you want to see if your phone is compatible with the beta, at the end of this video I'll link another video to show you how to do that. But anyway, check this out. If you do have a device running Harmony OS, let's say you open Petal Maps on your Huawei device, set a navigation point, put it back in your pocket, then your watch can take over. You can go for your run and carry on your navigation on your watch. You get home, you can then throw it to your tablet or your PC. The idea of Harmony OS is that it all works in harmony together. Hence the name, Harmony OS. And the Huawei GT2 Watch Pro simply can't do that at this point in time. And there'll be a bunch of other cool things you can do with Harmony OS, like fully control your camera app using your watch. All that stuff is still to come here in the West. In terms of the design differences, the body of the watch is actually made from stainless steel. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
Whereas the GT2's body is titanium, which is just as durable as stainless steel, but it's a bit lighter. By 2 grams, in fact, which is kind of negligible. But here's a massive difference. It's the introduction of this new rotating crown interface. This makes such a big difference when it comes to actually using the device and using this new operating system. So basically you can zoom right out with the rotating crown, find the app you're looking for, zoom back in and tap it, and it works so well and it saves a lot of time. And check this out, if you double tap the crown, you can actually open backgrounding apps, which takes me really nicely on to another massive upgrade. The Huawei Watch GT2 Pro had just 32 megabytes of RAM, whereas the Huawei Watch 3 has 2 gigabytes of RAM. So it's going to be better at backgrounding. We've got a better interface for activating backgrounding and actually navigating the entire menu. And we've also got a better operating system, which will come into its own over time as we start to see more Harmony OS devices. And I have heard that the Huawei GT2 Pro might get a Harmony OS update, but my feeling on that is the rollout's been so slow, by the time we actually see that, we'll probably be on to the Watch 4. But anyway, now let's run through some not so obvious differences. So the GT2 Pro had Bluetooth 5.1 and onboard storage, 16 gigs of onboard storage, so you could play music from the device. The Watch 3 has the same storage, more RAM, but also now, because it has Wi-Fi and an eSIM built in, you can actually stream music to the device through an app. So Bluetooth 5.2 means better codecs, better stability, better range. But the real big deal is the introduction of that Wi-Fi and eSIM. Because do you realize what this means? This means you could go out without your phone and use your watch as a replacement for your phone all day. I'm not saying you should do it, but you could do it, and you can't do that on the GT2 Pro. And also because of that eSIM, we've now got this fall detection feature, which basically, let's say you know somebody who's quite accident prone and you're worried about them falling over, you can give them this watch and set it up that if they do happen to fall over, it will dial out to an emergency contact. So that's a great feature there that again, we don't have on the GT2 Pro. Also, Huawei have upgraded the GPS accuracy, and I've seen quite a few people say the GT2 Pro's GPS was quite bad. Now it should be twice as good because it can connect to 4 satellites, not just the 2 that the GT2 Pro uses. The optical sense on the back has also been improved with a better light intake. And then when you combine this with the newer version of True Scene heart rate monitoring and a new, more power efficient way of monitoring SpO2, and to do all of this now continuously, essentially what you have is a better health monitoring device. And on top of that, they've even thrown in a new skin temperature detector for good measure. So it does what the GT2 Pro does, but it does it better. But of course, with all these great responsibilities comes great power consumption. But check this out, you could run the Watch 3 just like the GT2 Pro and get up to 15 days of battery life out of it. But if you want to maximize its potentials, use all of the features, if you put it into smart mode, you're only going to get 3. And it almost sounds like a negative, but actually when you compare it to other smartwatches in the same sort of price category, in the same class, 3 days isn't bad, but it sounds bad when you compare it to 15. And I totally get that, but we've got to consider all of the things that I've mentioned so far that it can do that the GT2 can't. So let's quick fire through a few more of the upgrades you're going to see on the Watch 3. It's got a bigger screen at 466 by 466 pixels. It's got a full QWERTY keyboard on screen now, and it's actually surprisingly easy to use. It does have NFC, so you can do contactless payments with Alipay, and hopefully we'll see some more banks jump on board the Huawei app gallery soon so we can use other banks as well. And in terms of watch faces, there's 10 pre-installed on the watch straight away. There's 20 more on the Huawei Health app, and there's a very expensive watch face shop with tons and tons of watch faces to choose from if you don't mind spending the money. And check this one out, there's a Huawei virtual assistant on board called Celia, and this could prove to be very useful if you're doing workouts where you want to control the watch but you can't use your hands. You can actually use Celia to navigate the user interface a little bit. And now there's also an app gallery on the actual watch itself, so you don't need to use your phone to download apps to the watch. I actually counted the amount of apps. There's actually around 60 at this point in time. Again, like Huawei's app gallery on the phones, it's growing, it's evolving. Hopefully we'll see more in the future. But there is a London bus timetable on here, so that could be useful for me. But unfortunately at this point in time, no Strava just yet. Fingers crossed, hopefully they'll get enough requests and jump over to the Huawei app gallery. And here's one of my favorite new features. You can still make watch faces of your own using your photo gallery, but now you can create video watch faces. So you can take a little clip of a video, have that on loop on your watch face. So now you know the differences between the Huawei GT2 Pro and the Watch 3. Let me know now, with all things considered, all of those upgrades that they've made, do you still think the GT2 Pro is the better option? Also, I'd love to hear your comments on the Harmony OS platform. Are you excited for that? And on that bombshell, if you guys want to check out if your phone is compatible with the beta, hit this thumbnail right now. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. And I will see you in the next one, so don't be late.